Keyword overview tool can be accessed from Semrush under the keyword research tab. The first tool you see is called keyword overview. Basically, this tool will give you an overall summary of the keyword you are going to be providing to SEMrush, and it will show all the important information along with the links to go in much more depth into that keyword for it. For example, you can enter the keyword here. Basically, you need to enter a seed keyword or a topic. Like if you're a business who's on, let's say you run a weight loss blog, ideally you can enter keyword like weight loss or lose weight, fat loss, or anything like that. You can enter the keyword. You can enter one keyword or go with 100 or up to 100 keywords. You can enter it. I recommend to enter one keyword. I will explain the bulk analysis feature at the later part of this video. I'm going to enter weight loss. And let's say, for example, I'm going to target only the customers from US. In that case, I can select United States. But if your target audience is different somehow, you can select the appropriate target country and go with that. You also can go much more in depth on state, city, municipality, county level also if you wish. In this case, I'm going to keep it as this simple and select this as a demo example for me. And you can see as soon as I entered, this is the screen I'm seeing. Now let's take a look by one all the data available with the explanation on what it's presenting. Basically, it shows that data set for this keyword is coming from United States, and it provides results for two different platforms, either desktop or mobile. We all know search results works differently for both desktop and for mobile. The results appearing will be changing, or the SERP features available for different results will be different, or even search volume itself will be different for both mobile and desktop. So depending on which target audience you want to analyze, you can check on it and use for it. Right? In this case, I'm just going to leave it as the default desktop as it is. This date will show you the data as of this particular date. If you want to visit historical data, you can check that data as well. And the USD basically shows the currency of CPC value. If you have chosen a different country, you have the option to choose that local currency as well. Below you can see I have the option to see either overview or bulk analysis. We are going to go in depth on overview right now, and that as a select location, I can select a particular location within the country I have chosen also. I'm going to keep it as a country level for this video. The first data we are seeing is called volume. Volume basically says that for this particular keyword, it has this amount of people searching on Google every month. This is a rough estimate. This is not the accurate amount. So depending on the data, it might be at least higher or might be going lower. But based on their data set, all the databases they have collected, this is the most estimated educated guess of the search volume. Most of the data you see within this SEO tools are most of the time it is educated guess. You won't be seeing the accurate data because Google is not totally revealing all their data to all these SEO tools. The next value we will be seeing is called keyword difficulty. Keyword difficulty, they pretty basic, they explain it here itself. For example, whatever the difficulty you see here, they will give a easy to understand explanation here. Basically keep this in mind, where keyword difficulty ranges from 0 to 100. 0 being most easy to rank for that particular keyword on top 10 position, where 100 being the most difficult keyword here. So in this example, it shows very odd 100%. What essentially it is saying is that the hardest keyword to compete for, it will take a lot of on-page SEO, link building, content promotion efforts in order to rank for this particular keyword. So that is how the SEO keyword difficulty work here. Global volume. This volume which we are seeing here is showing for that particular country. It is also showing that same amount of value. How much is it on other countries as well? For example, the total global volume is almost 4 times this amount, and it shows what are the biggest countries having the search. For example, even compared to US, India getting a lot more searches for this keyword. So basically with this we can also find other target areas for this keyword which has a lot of searches for it. This also have a linkable columns here, so clicking on it you can view data specific for that country from a SEO standpoint. Next we have intent for this keyword. Basically I have explained in much more depth in my free keyword research course on what is intent and why it is very crucial on this time being in SEO from 2024, because Google is actively trying to serve web results which matches users intent. So if user is searching for a keyword, Google is trying to figure out whether the key web pages which we are serving to the user is actually matching with their intent or goal. So we are doing a better job as a search engine. So matching your intent or the content you are creating to the intent of the searcher's query is very important, and Semrush does this really well. For example, Semrush, for in this example saying for anyone who's typing weight loss, most of the time they are looking for an informational intent where they are looking to find an answer to a specific question. Next we are seeing trend data. Trend data ranges from January to December, where every bar represents a month. Basically this will show that how the search volume is fluctuating for throughout the year. For example, when we are seeing this amount of search volume for this keyword, that does not mean that every single month is going to get the same amount of search volume. Here it's showing me that these volumes are typically on a steady rate, but sometimes what happens is, like if you choose a seasonal keyword, let's say for example Christmas gifts for your mom or Christmas gifts in general, you will notice a pattern where during November to December you have a really huge amount of searches, but during the before those months you will see very low amount of searches. If it's a seasonal keyword, you can easily identify with the trend data. Similarly, you can also identify declining keyword or new upward rising keywords also with trend data. I have explained these things in my free SEO course as well. Next, we have CPC or Google Adwords data. Google search works really well. They have organic listing, but they also do paid promotion. They do paid promotion via their Google AdWords platform, where they will sell those listing to their advertisers. So whenever they receive a click for their advertisers listing, Google essentially will receive money from that advertiser. This is what Google AdWord is supposed to work like. CPC means cost per click. What it essentially meaning is there are advertisers in Google who is willing to pay around $3.04 for every single click on whenever anyone types weight loss and comes to the search results. They are willing to pay that amount. Basically with this CPC volume we can measure the value of the keyword, and also we can also calculate the return on investment. If we do SEO and got our page to on the top position, what will be the likely return on investment, we can calculate that as well. I will also leave a link for a free return on investment calculator I have created, which you can use to calculate how much profit you can expect to make if you rank on the top positions here. Then we have competitive density. Competitive density is different from keyword difficulty. This is SEO keyword difficulty. Competitive density means how much competition is happening inside the Google AdWords platform for this particular keyword. So it is nothing to related to with ranking. It is all about Google Ads. Basically 0.0 means there is no ads. Advertisers were willing to pay for this particular keyword. Where being 1.0 meaning there are a lot of keyword advertisers are there. So having that, you can expect to see what kind of range and pretty take a guess on how the advertising competition for this keyword is not. Then we have PLA. PLA stands for product listing ads. In this case, there is no PLA ads here, but sometimes you notice PLA ads are something from Google Shopping. Sometimes a product will be ranked when you type something like running shoes or something like that. You will see different models of running shoe ads on Google. If that ads are shown here, it will show you the number of ads and a linkable link to those ads. And similarly, any ads appearing here, it will give a link for general ads within Google. For example, what it says that for weight loss, it has found around 25 different ads which is ranking on Google. You can click on it here or go into this section of advertising tools. They have provided a lot of different tools to go in depth onto finding more related to with this PPC and Google AdWords. This is what this section shows. Next, we have keyword ideas. Keyword idea is where they have provided the summary on the overview section. Keyword ideas now basically gives you the links to go much more depth to see all the related keyword variation, questions, keyword clusters or keyword groups for this particular keyword. For example, you can see I have just entered one keyword here and it shows it has this amount of volume. Now it shows that for that particular keyword, it has found 775,000 keyword variation with the total volume adds up to around 18.1 million keywords volume. So you can see the SEMrush has found over 700,000 plus keywords here. Question keywords itself, it has found over 100,000 keywords. I will explain in depth why question keywords are important when I'm explaining keyword magic tool in SEO. Then also it shows the keyword clusters. Keyword clusters, just keep it as a easy example understanding as a keyword groups. I will explain this in much more depth when I'm explaining keyword manager tool. So they are basically giving these links for various tools within keyword research tool to get more data out of this this keyword. So these are pretty much giving you an overall summary and a link to these tools for you. Clicking on these tools will go to this tool and a filter applied automatically. Clicking on this link, it will go to keyword manager tool with filter applied automatically. So those are keyword idea section. SERP analysis. This is pretty basic explanatory screenshot itself, a very powerful one at that also. For example, we are seeing summary data, we are seeing the tabulated data of all the keywords it has found. But SERP analysis, what it shows is like, if you click on view SERP here, basically it will show you a cached screenshot of this particular phrase on the database of United States device desktop and the date it was processed, and it basically will show you the actual Google screenshot of ranking web pages. It will show all the 100 listing for this particular keyword. You can see I can scroll and see it. Basically all the data available in this page, they will take it and it will present in a nice tabulated list format for you. For example, this result shows the total search index for this particular keyword. SERP feature. Google search engine, we all know they are consistently improving their search results page. No longer you are only seeing web pages within Google search results. There are so many interactive widgets, map packs, images, videos, featured snippets. People also ask all these kind of new stuffs are also ranking within SERP pages, and this is what it shows. For example, for this keyword, it's showing what are the SERP features available for this. For example, it has site links, reviews, image, video carousel, where there are 1 to 4 or 5 or many videos, more than one video. People also ask top stories. All the shows are here, and you can see from 1 to 0 this. So it's showing me pages with 10. It goes up to 100 results. Oh, I can click on it and I can see it. And the SERP features here shows summary. Here it's actually showing me, for example, even the first one, ranking web page is not technically first ranking because it is ranking as 4, because their first ranking is goes to top stories. The second ranking goes to people also ask. The third goes to video carousel. So if you are creating a content on video, maybe you can target this and try to rank within this video carousel to get a better ranking for you. Then we are seeing the actual ranking web pages. You can see it has an image also for this. It has site links here, and we also presented with some values here as well. They are not only giving you the basic web pages which are ranking, but they are giving some values. For example, the first value we are seeing is called page authority score. In old school SEO days, we are familiar with page rank. Page rank is a metric provided by Google which shows the value of that ranking web page. But Google decided to discontinue that. Then all the SEO tools tried to do their own page rank for them. For example, Moz as domain authority, page authority, Ahref have their own domain authority and page authority. Similarly, with Semrush, they have their own page score. Basically, what it does, it is a proprietary metric which uses backlinks, organic search traffic, and overall authenticity of its profile, and calculates a value for that. Just remember that having a bigger page authority score does not mean that automatically guarantees you first page ranking. It just shows that SEO power. According to SEMrush, this page has a lot of SEO power, but Google has a lot of factors associated with that and their search quality guidelines as well. So even though if it has a low page authority score, it might still rank on top position compared to a bigger page. For example, we can see example of that here itself. For example, this particular 9th position has a page authority score of 81, but still a page of 63, 75, 76 is ranking higher than compared to that page. So you keep that in mind when you're analyzing. Then we have referring domains and backlinks. Basically, backlink shows the number of backlinks for this particular web page. So it shows this page as this amount of backlink, and referring domains shows for out of those backlink how many unique referring domain it has. Basically, in SEO concept, you try to get as many backlink, quality backlink as possible from as many referring domain as possible. Getting backlinks from different domain is always more valuable compared to getting a lot of backlinks from one single domain. So that is why they are giving referring domain count as well. So you can see this 100,000 plus backlink is coming from just 5,400 websites. So it's a huge number of backlinks, but coming from a small target. Similarly, you can see the how much backlinks are coming from unique domain from here. Then we have search traffic and URL keyword. This is something to be important. For example, there is no longer the case in SEO industry where if you are creating a web page, you are only going to be targeting one primary and two secondary keywords and expecting to ranking only for those keywords. Search engine and Google search ranking has evolved into a point where if you have crafted a really good content piece, you have the authority, link building, off-page SEO, on-page SEO and everything, then what it will do is it not only will rank for a couple of keywords, it will rank for hundreds of keywords or even thousands of keywords. That is why all the LSI keywords are coming into play, content marketing coming into play, content SEO optimization is coming into play, because all the not only it will rank for the primary and secondary keyword, it will rank for keyword variation, related keyword, long tail keyword, semantic keyword, LSI keywords. We can just keep on going into. That is what happening here. For example, what it's saying is that this particular URL is ranking for 14,600 keywords and receiving around 30,000 search traffic from those keywords. And if you see other pages also, this particular page is ranking for around 10,000 keywords and they are receiving around 30,000 traffic. So you can see depending on different keywords, the traffic amount is different and number of keyword also different. So those are the data we can see from SERP analysis. We can also export this data to Excel spreadsheet, CSV or CSV semicolon. Below we are seeing PLA copies. If we see any PLA copies link here, if we click here, it will come to this particular location where it will show those data with the picture and the actual ad it found out on Google. Keyword ad history, again a PPC tool. Basically, how you can use this tool is basically it shows how many ads Google found out in different months for this particular keyword. So if you are an advertiser who's looking to advertise for this particular keyword, ideally you can use this data to control your bidding money or bidding resources. For example, a month like June, which has a low number of ads, you can ideally reduce your advertising budget and set a low amount for your PPC pay-per-click budget. Then you can possibly try to target your keyword. That way you will be saving money unnecessarily without spending too much. And another example is in April, where there are 89 number of ads for this particular keyword. So in that you are no longer able to provide a basic keyword ad and a budget or price and expect to see the same result. You obviously need to pay a lot more to make sure that you are outranking those ads and making sure that users are seeing your ad more prominently compared to others. So we can see those data here. Obviously there is a link where we can use this to go in much more depth within PPC itself. So those are the data we are seeing with overview. We can also export this to a PDF update metrics. What update metrics means is this data is as of January 18th, but let's say for example I want to, this is showing me a older date, I want to see the data as of right now. I can click on that and it will update all this value for me. Depending on this plan, it will have different number of limits for you. My plan allows around up to 250 update checks for me. Then we have bulk analysis. As I mentioned, I did one keyword at a time. Now if I want, I can do the bulk keyword also. For example, fat loss, lose weight. I can enter as much as keyword I want up to 100. Then when I click on analyze, it will show all the data in a tabulated format with intent, volume, trend, keyword difficulty, CPC, SERP features and everything. And if I click on any of this keyword, it will open up that keyword in keyword overview. That is all for bulk analysis.